Welcome to the Biloxi Coaches Show with Katlan French. Today's guest is Weston Crop, big number 79. How you doing today, Weston?
It's a great day, Coach.
Well, good. Well, hey, just wanted to talk to you a little bit, just get to know you a little bit, and the people out in Indian Nation. So why don't you just tell us about you and you're coming up, through Biloxi and all that kind of stuff.
Sure, yeah. I'm 17 years old. Not much, not too special, Grew up in Biloxi, family's from Biloxi. Mom's side from Greene County, big supporter up there. As far as my football career, I haven't been, it's pretty traditional, grew up City League football, and just kept along with it. My uncle played at Jones. He played college football. And I kept with it,
Well, good. So you told me you on the weekends you have an ice cream truck, and
yeah, that's right. Young business, young entrepreneur, and I run an ice cream truck on the weekends. That might be something I want to pursue later in the years. Entrepreneurship, and I'm killing it.
Well, good. That's great. You saw some significant action last year as a junior, but this year you're a starter and obviously one of the leader on the line, the guy that's got the experience. But what's impressive to me is that you're a smart guy and you 29 ACT. So tell me about your sports and how you keep your studies up. Does this come easy to you, or do you have to work for it?
Absolutely, yeah. Academics hasn't been too much of a challenge, except for kind of reading and writing. I've had struggles there. It's hard for me to comprehend sometimes, but as far as the science and mathematics field, it comes second nature to me. I love the numbers.
Well, good. So have you always been a big kid, or when did you start growing?
Yeah, in junior high, I was big. Didn't really I really can't tell you when I started to grow up like that, but I've pretty much always been head and shoulders over the rest, and that really hasn't changed.
Well, good. So coming through the junior high program into the high school. So when did working out and really taking seeing football as a future and something you make it do, past high school become a reality to you?
Sure. Yeah. After my sophomore year, I really hit the weight room hard, hit the off season hard, and I got my squat and bench up, and I turned into a really good, powerful kid. And that's when I started seeing the minutes on the field, my junior year. And, just these past few months, it's been a big talk for me to possibly play at the next level, possibly play at a junior college level. And, it's a blessing that God has blessed me with. And, it's possible. And I really appreciate that.
Well, I got to ask, so what's your bench?
Oh, gosh. It's probably 285, 290.
Okay.
I've been working at it. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, good deal. So you got a few offers. We're talking earlier. So some JUCO offers and offer to Delta State. Is that right?
Right.
So how that all come about? How do they just call you? They send you letters? How do they typically reach out to you?
It was really all of a sudden. It was probably within a 2-week span. I got a real big burst. Who was first? Kapai Lincoln was first. Kapai Lincoln, Pearl River, Jones, and after I got those offers, they offered me to come up there and see the campus. But it was all real quick, and it's really slowed down since then. But it's a blessing to get those.
Well, good. Well, hey, keep working hard. It's not over yet, right?
Right.
So let's just talk. I like to ask all the young guys that come through here. What's your favorite memory when you think about Biloxi High football in your career?
Yeah. Favorite memory is probably going to have to be the Gulfport game of my junior year. That was last year. We ran the heavy package, and I played the tight end position that game. And, the yards we ran up, KK running behind us, it was all the people in the stands. It was probably the best game I ever played and my best memory here at Biloxi.
Well, great. Well, what about outside of football? Tell what's your favorite memory of Biloxi High School?
I really can't think of a best memory, but just getting with the guys, and just having a good time wherever we go. We always stick together on the weekends outside of football. After practice, me and the big guys, offensive line, we always find somewhere to eat. We know the best spots to eat. If you know, as big guys, we love to eat. Just getting together and just being with guys is just the best part of my day. I just love it. I love my guys.
That's great. So what kind of advice would you give to anybody coming up through the junior high program, or even our ninth graders that are coming into varsity?
Yeah. That's tough. I really had to work for my spot as coming in. as a freshman, it's tough to get the attention. It's tough to get minutes, and I'd say just keep a good attitude, just keep working at it, work on your craft, work on your character, just be a good guy, that'll definitely get you attention outside of football, I say hit the weight room and keep your attitude, keep your character.
Well, good. Well, Weston, we really appreciate you joining us. Good luck
Absolutely.
against St. Martin this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care. So as we transition over to Coach here, just a quick reminder that tickets are on sale today to the participants. Tomorrow they go on sale at 7:15 to 7:45 in the cafeteria before school, and then also at 8 o'clock until 5 o'clock, and then they go on to the public, and then on Friday 8 until 12. So get your tickets for St. Martin this week here at home versus Biloxi. So, Coach, how we feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. How are y'all feeling?
Feel good. So heartbreaker this week versus Ocean Springs. We thought we had them. Got a late push there. So how are the guys feeling after the game?
I thought the guys were fine. Our guys are always they're always going to play hard, and they're always going to show up each and every week, and we know that. That's the type of character we have on our team. It was definitely heartbreaking, and you could see it on their eyes after the game that they were disappointed. We all were, but we've had a good week of practice this week. We're in good spirits, and we're just the tough thing about football is you got to wait a whole another 7 days before you get to get out there on the field again, but our guys have really responded. We had a great we didn't have school Monday, and we had a great practice. We had a great attendance from all the guys we needed, but we're in great spirits right now.
Well, good. Obviously what stood out is we completely changed our offense and our defense going into the game versus Ocean Springs, and so what led to that? I mean, we went to a double wing offense, and then it looks like we kind of went to that 3-down lineman, kind of a nickel defense. And
yeah, so the 3-down lineman defense is really what Coach Poggett is more comfortable with. Early in the year, you're playing these wing tee heavy package teams. You really need to get 4 or 5 hands in the ground. But when you go to a team that spreads it out a little bit more, you can kind of get back to your bread and butter. So that was the reason for that defensively. And then at the same time, defensively, with the amount of injuries and the amount of personnel changes and as far as different people having to go on the field, we felt that that was something that gave us a better chance. Offensively, you're seeing a double wing. We losing Chad in the Harrison Central game really hit our depth chart pretty hard from the receiver standpoint, and we have enough backs. So we felt that we needed to get more backs on the field and really get the run game going. Dale J's very good at play action. He's got a great arm. So if people start, coming in the box a little bit more, he can kind of hit you over the top, which we did a couple of times. But really up front, we didn't change a whole lot. We didn't change a whole lot from our offensive line standpoint. It was still the same running scheme. We just threw a bunch of smoke and mirrors from the wing back positions and adding that to the standpoint. So it was nerve-wracking going in. We knew we had to do something to give ourselves a chance. We have not been doing well in what we were doing, and we needed to do something different, we felt, and it worked out for us after only having 3 days of practice. We had a short week playing on a Thursday, and so I really felt like we came out and executed greatly, and our offensive line did a great job, and then obviously our running backs did a good job, and Dale J did a great job of controlling everything, and then Dion had a few grabs himself. So overall, it was a good night offensively. Yeah, so big story on offense. KK Kendrick, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he pretty much doubled what he had on the season so far. The big one was the 99-yard run from the 1 yard line. So what do you think just contributed to the big day for KK? Well, obviously you can't get those yards without the offensive line. I mean, I feel like our offensive line really stepped up. They had a couple of tough games the 2 weeks prior. And, it really came out. And I think the motioning and stuff in the backfield kind of threw the defense off a little bit as well. So we were able to do that and keep them off guard. But KK is he's a special running back. I mean, he's one of the best running backs to ever come through Biloxi. He's really stepped his game up this year. He's worked hard, and he that performance he did. That's what he's capable of, and we hope to have more nights like that from him moving forward. Yeah,
we've seen him. I remember the Stone game last year. I mean, he was unstoppable. So that's a lot of fun to watch. So I do want to ask you a couple questions. Just about the game. So talk to me about the pass interference on Chance Keith. I mean, they ended up setting him up. Would have been a 4th down. Probably would have got a field goal. Ended up getting a touchdown out of it. Elton and I, we're not experts, but it didn't look like pass interference.
So yeah, not only would it have set up for a field goal, but it would have been a really long field goal. We had them back at like the 35-yard line, so it would have been a 47-yard or so. But it wasn't a pass interference, and we know it wasn't pass interference. It's just one of those things that didn't go our way. I think some people were telling me they were listening to the Ocean Springs live stream, and their announcers also didn't think it was pass interference. I'm hearing words that the official over the weekend was talking to some people. He wishes he wouldn't make the call. We wish he wouldn't have made the call. It was very unfortunate he made that call because it definitely affected the outcome of the game. That's just a tough break for us. And we've had a couple of tough breaks this year. But that one really hurt us, and but we overcame it from an offensive standpoint. They never stopped us in the second half, we still had a chance to win it at the end. We gave up the big kick return that set them up for a field goal at the end of the game, where we had, on the kick return, we had plenty of guys there in position to make the play, and just didn't make the play. And that's just something we got to get better at.
Yeah, and I have that as a note here a little bit later. But so let's talk about that real quick. I mean, so was the strategy just to kind of pooch it down about the 15-yard line, or do we think about kicking it out of bounds? What was the
strategy?
Thought process
well, there was a lot of time left in the game, and they had timeout, so there really was no. And we know they had a good kicker, so we didn't want to pooch it and give them a short field, and because our defense had been struggling at that point. So really, Kai couldn't have kicked it really any better other than kicking into the end zone. We signaled to kick it deep left. Everything ended even. Other than not going in the end zone, it worked out perfectly. I mean, he put it between the numbers and the sideline. The returner bobbled it. It almost went out of bounds. He picks it up. We got him cornered in. We had a couple of guys stop their feet, and he got outside on them. And then we had guys there to make the tackle. He has him wrapped up and breaks the tackle. And then one guy that was right there kind of gave up on the play. And it was just unfortunate. I mean, their guy made a play at the end of the day. We were there. We just didn't capitalize on it. We didn't do our job. We didn't execute on the particular play.
And hindsight's 20/20, but I think he doesn't drop that ball. I think he doesn't run that ball back.
Right. I think he got desperate. I mean, after he dropped the ball, and I think maybe some of our guys saw him drop it. Maybe maybe gave up on it a little bit. But it was just unfortunate, and we didn't execute. And that's just what happens when you don't execute.
Sure. I want to go back to penalties just for a minute, because it seemed to me that there was a lot of key penalties against us, especially holding penalties on crucial downs. I mean, I think they got Sabb twice, once on the end around that he got a big, huge first down on, and they just kept backing us up when we were doing good things and really stopped our momentum. I mean, watching tape, I mean, was it legitimate calls or?
Yeah, there was a bunch of bad. I mean, we had they called a holding call on Dion once, and that was a bad call. We turned in the tape, and we talked about it with the officials, and I think everybody's in agreement that it wasn't a very good night for the officials. One of the penalties we had was Garrison. His helmet came off. He continued to play with his helmet off, which is it's just one of those penalties where the kid, you want the kid to play hard. The kids are not trained to stop during the play. And he didn't stop during the play. His helmet came off, and he cracked back on a guy and got a penalty called there as well. So I think, out of the holding calls, maybe they got one right, but most of them they got wrong, and it's just unfortunate.
Gotcha. So Took Norwood had a great run. If it was a counter trap play, I don't remember, but ran it up the middle, had a really hard fought run, and unfortunately had that fumble right in the end zone. Yep. I know he was really upset with himself. It was a great run. Obviously, that really hurt us. A bit of touchdown.
Just great run by Took. Took's a kid that's going to be a great player for us. He's a great player for us now, and his future's bright. And that's just one of those things. It's just a sophomore mistake, and you wish he would have been able to have that sophomore mistake in a spring game or a jamboree, because this is kind of one of the first games he played as much as he did. He kind of did some mop-up duty late in games, the first couple of games of the year, and that's just something he's going to learn from. You got to have it high and tight. You got to get both hands on the ball whenever you're in traffic, and he was scrambling, trying to make a play, he was trying to score, and he learned the hard way, and I think that's something he's going to learn from in the future, and he's going to do good in the future. He's going to be a great running back, and I know for a fact he's going to learn from that mistake.
Well, good. On a positive note, we were pinned up, had a not a great kick out of the end zone, and then R.J. Moss made a big play interception.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, R.J., great player for us. I think he gets better each and every week. He's a Division I guy, and he's starting to impose his will a tad bit. And he's still there were still some times in the games where his run fits weren't great, but he's one of those guys that you can always depend on to make a play when it matters. He's right there to getting a couple of sacks as well. We just missed him a few times. But RJ, just a great player, and we're glad he's a junior. We're going to have him back next year.
No question.
Yep.
Let's talk just a bit about going for 2 there at the very end. I mean, was it ever a question? Were we going to go for 2 the whole time, or?
It was a question because I think before the drive started, or maybe late in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, some coaches had asked me, "Coach, you think we should get ready for a 2-point play if it comes down to it?" And I said, "Absolutely not. We're not going to go for 2. We're going to put it in overtime." I think what led to the decision mainly was the fact that they could not stop us. They had no answer for us in the second half. They never stopped us one time in the second half, and they did back us up on first downs a couple of times, but they couldn't stop the counter. They couldn't stop the power, and so knowing that, and then knowing that our defense had started to struggle a little bit, they had found some holes on our defensive end, and just some guys that were just struggling doing their jobs. Executing some young guys, and I wanted to make sure that we put the pressure on them to make sure they had to go down there and score to win the game. And it was a good call, and it just unfortunate the kick return came next, and it kind of put a damper on that.
Well, so we talked a little bit about the offensive line, talked about a running game, but what else do you think that we did well? This game that you were looking for?
Well, we threw the ball well when we needed to. I mean, we were 3 for 5 throwing the ball, and the 3 times we did catch it, we threw one for a touchdown. We hit a deep ball over the top. So Del-J really did a good job of controlling the game. The thing about it with Del-J that he did a good job with was getting everybody lined up as a new system. And some of the running backs had been having issues, understanding the calls, understanding the formations, and where to get lined up, because it's a very confusing offense. There's a lot of motions, there's a lot of shifts and things like that. And he did a good job controlling all that. In spots, at times our defense looked good until the second half. We gave up 7 points in the first half. So I felt that they did well at times, but just once they found some holes and some guys that were not quite as good at doing their job at the moment. It was a struggle for us. I thought our assistant coaches did a great job. Our offensive staff, Coach Moss, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit for what we went to. He did a fantastic job. This is kind of an offense that he has a good grasp of, and there's some things he's done. I mean, Coach Moss is a state championship offensive coordinator. Glad he's on our team. And so I would definitely give him a lot of credit for what we've done offensively. But there were some other good things as well.
So before we move on, what do we learn from? I mean, what when you look back through the tape, what things do we need to continue to work on?
Well, again, defensively, we got to get better at third down. Third and medium is kind of our worst nightmare. So that's one thing we need to work on. And then offensively, we need to try to start a little bit faster. We went 3 and out the first 3 drives. But that's the thing about this offense, that if you just keep showing up each and every series, and things will happen, because at the end of the day, this is an offense where it creates a lot of eye violations from the defense. And I hope we can start a little bit faster. Got to improve on kickoff. That is definitely a hole. We've replaced a few people on that. Our punt team, we got Tristan back this week. So I thought our punt team was struggled a little bit. It mainly didn't have a whole lot to do with the protection. It was more the timing of the punter, catching the ball, understanding he's getting pressure on him, need to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. We do a little rugby sometimes, and sometimes we kick it straight on. So special teams as a whole has got to improve. Because, I mean, I would say our offense won against their defense, their offense won against our defense, and then they won the special teams battle at the end of the day, and that's probably more so what contributed to the loss than anything.
All right, well, let's talk about injuries for a little bit. I didn't bring my whole book of injuries like we did last week here, but there are 4 or 5 of them I want to talk about. So, if I remember right, we're gonna have a lot of players coming back this week. So Landon Davis, the guy they call Tex, he's returning this week, right?
Yeah, Landon's returning. He's our left tackle, and we'll put him back where he was. I mean, he was arguably doing one of the better jobs on our offensive line, so that's going to move some things around for us a little bit. I see you have Pizzarich return to center. That's true. I don't know where you're getting your information at. That's good information. But Pizzarich will be returned to center, and then we'll kind of have a battle going on at left guard between Adam Davis and Seymour. Both the kids have done a good job this year, so we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Well, it was a question mark, but
Yep.
yeah, I appreciate that. So let's talk about Tristan for a little bit. I mean, obviously, you hate it for a kid. Senior goes out the first game. Now you have a young quarterback that's come in and run the last little bit. I know he's coming back this week. Is that right? We talked about that.
So Tristan's back and he's practicing. We got a yellow jersey on him. According to the doctors, he's still kind of no contact. But you could see him play some quarterback this week. It's kind of hard going in the game when you're no contact. I mean, because you can still get hit at quarterback, even though we're in a wing T system kind of now a little bit. And then we can kind of go back to our other stuff with Tristan. That was one reason we had to move to the wing T kind of stuff, because Del J is a little bit limited running. And when you're in the shotgun, you got one back in the backfield. You really need that quarterback to be able to run a little bit with your zone reads, and you need to be able to being in the shotgun, having KK by himself back there was that people were able to zone in on him and just kind of all out go after him. But now that we got 3 of them in there that are capable, you still got to keep your eyes up for those guys. But you'll see Tristan punting for us for sure, and hopefully there will be times we can get him in the game in the future at quarterback, and we'll kind of see what his situation does from here on out.
Okay. So Jordan Sudduth, we didn't really get a diagnosis on him. Is he out for the season or?
Jordan's still out, and he's just going to be week to week. I mean, he's still got a lot of symptoms up there. And then whenever we get more information on that, we'll see what happens.
Okay. And Augie Trimble, is he back?
Yeah, Augie's started practicing yesterday. He's been out a while, and it's just gonna, when we get him back involved. When we get him back involved, will be determined by how he progresses as far as his conditioning and how he can do as far as getting in and relearning everything and getting his game speed back to normal. I don't know how much you'll see of him this week, but we hope to get him ready to go here soon.
All right, and finally, Big Zytarius May, Big Z May, number 90. I know that Alonzo Clayton's been taking a lot of snaps at nose guard. Do we think we'll see May back in that nose guard position or Clayton?
You'll see a little bit more Clayton right now. We got Alonzo back on Friday, the day of the game. We actually dressed him out. I think he may have played a couple of snaps. We look forward to getting May back very, very soon involved, and it could be this week. We'll just kind of have to see how it goes.
Well, good. Well, it's nice to have some guys coming back instead of adding to the list, right?
Yeah, that's right. But then we lose our, a couple of plays in the game. Third quarter of the game, I think it was, we lose our corner, Terrence Simmons, who's been our starting corner all year, and he's out for the season. So, that really hurt us. I think it was 3 plays after he came out, they threw a deep ball and got a touchdown on the backup corner, and that was that's just one of those things that's very difficult to see him not on the field, because he's been doing a good job for us this year, and I don't think we'll be seeing him again. So that kind of sucks.
All right, well, let's move into the St. Martin game. So St. Martin comes in. They started the season with the loss to Stanislaus, 21-16, lost to Pearl River Central, and lost to Tylertown. All games you'd think that a 6A program would probably win. Now they had a forfeit against Gulfport and for Hancock, and they beat Salmon, who I think is another questionable how strong of a program they are. So, and then last week, I guess call it a respectable loss to Harrison Central, 35-7. So what are we expecting to see out of St. Martin?
St. Martin does have talent. They always do. They're going to see some really good-looking receivers out there, and they got a pretty good-looking secondary. I think their biggest weak points of where they're a little bit down from where they usually are is probably their up front on offense and up front on defense. They're a spread offense. You're going to see a lot of 4 wide receivers. Their starting quarterback, they hit the injury bug kind of like we did. I mean, their starting quarterback went down, I think week 2 maybe, and we think he may be out for the season. We don't know if we'll see him this week or not. But he was a very good player, one of the best players. He was one of the best players in this district. He's super fast, and so if whether he's in the game, it makes I think he went down week 2, so I think they've been trying to figure it out since then, kind of the same way we were. But they have the potential to be explosive on offense if you're not where you're supposed to be. There are some matchup problems we feel that we have against them, but we feel like they're going to have some matchup problems against us too. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. So the quarterback is a junior, Cam Hallahan is his name. Now the running backs, the guy that's getting the majority of the carries is number 8, Aiden Burney, a junior. But the one that seems like he maybe is a little more dangerous is Makia Abear. a senior averaging about 8.6 a carry. What are y'all seeing on film from him?
Yeah, so Makia is the one I'm talking about. Most of his carries have been coming from quarterback mostly, but he's the one that we hadn't seen in a while. Supposed to have an injury. We'll see what happens. Maybe he's there, maybe he's not. Number 8's a good player. Barry, he's probably carried the load a little bit more, just with Makia being out. And so, but Barry's Bernie's a very good player, and he's very capable, good player.
So their wide receivers, Norreal White, a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He's their leading receptions, and then their leading yardage guys, a guy named DJ Carney.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do they have a quarterback that can throw the ball? Or
Yeah, he's decent. You know what I mean? He can hurt you if you're not ready. They seem to struggle a tad bit with it as of late, but I mean, he's a quarterback they didn't expect to have in the game any this year, and so he's gotten better each week, and so we expect him to be a little bit better this week than he was last week. All their receivers are very good looking players. I mean, Evan Jr., even the one at the bottom, 6, he's a big dude. 2's a good player. All of them are very capable players if you can get the ball to them. So we just got to make sure we keep them from getting the ball to those guys, and we really want to make them run the ball. We feel like we like our chances with them running the ball. And so we just got to make sure we do a good job on 3rd and long. I mean, I think we can get them in some 3rd and long, 3rd and medium situations, and we got to get out the field. We need a little bit more pass rush. I mean, we feel like we got arguably 2 of the best pass rushers in the state of Mississippi, and we're just not getting to the quarterback as much as we thought we'd be getting to them. And those guys got to do a little bit better job getting to the quarterback. If we can get to the quarterback, we don't have to worry about anything. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, just a few questions I had for you. So, I mean, coming into this game, do we expect to see the double wing still, or are we going to go back to? I know you can't tell your secrets, but
I mean, what would you do? You saw the game last week, so. But I feel like we found something that we're good at. I think we're taking a lot of pressure off our offensive line by doing that. I think we're taking a lot of pressure off KK. We really didn't start hitting on KK until the second. We got the 99 run in early in the first half, but I mean, in the second half, where he really started making his money. Seeing the motionings and getting the eye candy out there and getting the backers out of position a little bit, and that helps the offensive line tremendously. If you can get the backers to just take the wrong step this way or the wrong step that way, and they're out of position, because it hits really fast when you're running the counters and the powers and the traps and the bellies downhill from there. And then we got one really good receiver in Dion Harden. So we feel like if we can get them to stack the box, we got one-on-one. They got one-on-one issues with Dion. But at the end of the day, we still have the ability to get back in our spread package and do that if we need to. We'll see. We'll see. We just got to have get a feel for the game and how they're playing us defensively on what we do.
Okay. Are there any other changes that we may see on the offensive or the defensive side? We talked about the linemen a little bit. Any other personnel changes, or maybe even shift in our strategy there on the either side of the ball?
No, I mean, I think we're trying to keep people in the same spots as much as we can. We've had to move a secondary around a whole lot this year, which is causing some misalignments and misassignments, I believe. Got 2 sophomores back there at safety, and we've kind of had to move Fillmore around a little bit, and due to injuries, just don't know. Sab's been a little banged up, and then losing Augie early has made us have to try to get creative and where we put people. So I think you'll see a very similar team out there this Friday as you saw last Friday.
Okay. Anything in particular you're going to be looking for? You'd like to see from us this week?
I want to see our team compete the way they did last week. I mean, which we've competed each and every week. I think our guys are playing hard, but the intensity we played with last week, I thought was towards the end of the game. Of course, we had good things going and we were in the game. So I feel like if we'll show up with that same intensity and execute offensively the same way we did towards the end of the game, will be great. We've got to improve on our special teams, like I said earlier, and our defense has got to get off the field on 3rd down. So those 2 things we need to improve on, and then offensively we need to click the way we did in the second half.
Gotcha. I want to ask just a quick question about, 9th grade season just ended, and I know they moved a few players up, and there's one player that kind of stands out to me that could possibly make an impact on Friday nights. And that's Day. I think his name's Deshaun McGee in the wide receiver spot. He's got good hands in the junior high game. Is he somebody you could see playing on Friday nights as young as he is?
Yeah, so actually, Day is going to be a great receiver for us in the future. Problem is we do have Dion over there, and with the system we're going in right now, we may not need him as much at receiver. The problem we have is in the secondary. The problem we have is at corner. We've already lost a corner, and then Sabatini being banged up, and we may have to move Chance inside a little bit more. Chance, our other corner, is a great player. So Day-Day's been getting a lot of reps at corner. I expect you to see him a lot at corner this week, possibly. And so he's a good player. He's going to be a two-way player for us in the future. He's going to be a receiver for us in the future, going to be a good player. But the biggest need we have, and I called him over the weekend. I said, look, man, I told him, I said, man, if you want to go play ninth grade basketball, I'm not going to stop you if that's what you want to do. But we got to, I told him, you're going to be a great receiver for us in the future. I said, but we have a big time hole at corner right now, and we could use your help. And he took that on and said he wanted to move up with us and try to take on that role. And he's done a great job this week of practice. He's learning. Coach Hill's done a great job with him. And we expect a lot of good things from him.
Good. I know another guy that could maybe play a little bit of defense is Jace Cummins. I mean, I know obviously he was out a lot of the season this year, but he's a pretty aggressive, hard-nosed, especially in that linebacker spot. What do you see him kind of helping the team?
So Jace and Day are going to be playing a lot on special teams this week. We move them up to try to get better on our special teams. Jace will be playing a lot of special teams this week, and until we can get him kind of coached up. Linebackers a very difficult position to learn at this level. Reading the guards and how the speed of the game. He's helped us out a lot on scout team. But in the future, I do expect you to see a lot of Jace on defense once he gets coached up on a little bit. With Day at corner, it's not as difficult. Mostly what we're doing, we're playing a lot of cover 3, playing a lot of cover 1. So it's kind of stay on top or guard your man. And it kind of comes down to talent at that point. But we expect to see good things from Jace, and he's going to be heavily on our special teams. I think we got him on almost everything this week.
Good. All right. Well, let's also want to move kind of the junior high a little bit, and I've seen you out the games, but they've got some pretty special running backs there coming up.
Yeah, and that really goes along with what we're doing. We're putting 3 running backs on the field right now, and that's really going to go hand in hand for them when they get up here with us. Those guys over there, they're very special. The 7th grader. Got to move up with the 8th grade a good bit. I remember the games he's had where he's. I think it was.
The first game he had 3 carries,
3 touchdowns. We had 3 carries, 3 touchdowns, and he's special and super special. I mean, he's got a potential to be the best running back to come through here, and all the rest of them have a potential to be great running backs as well. And so we're very, very excited about those guys. And that 7th grade group, what I love the most about that 8th grade group is I remember them last year. And they may have won 1 game, I think, maybe 2. And this year, they're very close to being undefeated right now. And just seeing the improvement that they've made, and Coach Workington, Coach Molesby, and Coach Waz, and all those guys have done down there, and seeing what they've done, it's been very special. And they've grown a lot. That's one of the best things about those kids. They've grown a lot from their 7th to 8th grade year, and we can't wait to get them in the spring.
Well, I got just a couple more questions, and we'll get you out of here. So the first question is, so West Harrison heard today that they're quarantined. Their football team is. What does that mean for us? We got them in 2 weeks. Do you expect to play that game or not?
Coach Gladney came and talked to me today about that, and the only thing I know about them is that they are out this week, and they've canceled against Ocean Springs, and that they plan to come back next Friday and play us next Friday, and that's really all I know. Whether that happens or not, because it is kind of close, and there could be a health issue there. But whether that happens or not, I don't know. But that's what their plan is, and that's what our plan is at the moment.
So, in the event that they can't play us, would we try to pick up another game, or we let our team heal a little bit?
Well, it's just I hadn't really thought that far yet. I mean, I've looked at both sides of that and seen the injuries we've had, and knowing that we're kind of in the playoffs right now with our district, and that we really need to make sure that we're as healthy as we can be down the stretch. And so that'll it's possible we sit it out and rest up and try to get ready for Hancock the next week. But I wouldn't. I don't want to say that we won't pick up a game and try to play someone.
Well, the way I see it, we got 3 very winnable games after 3 really tough games in a row. And if we can win those 3 games, it's going to be a knockdown drag out with Gulfport, which is what you want to see. I mean, your rival at the very end of it, for a playoff spot.
And that's probably what we're leaning towards. Yeah.
We'd rather be the 1 seed than 4 seed, but hey, we'd rather be the 4 seed than the no seed, right?
That's right.
Just one other question. I had somebody just ask me this. I guess whenever you became the head coach, you did some neat meet and greets a while back. And I know with COVID, we'd love to do this in an atmosphere like Tailgaters, where they've been very supportive of the program, and they show the games every Friday night, and they actually get a good crowd in there. But are you open to doing more stuff like that? I mean, I think that there's some people out there in Indian Nation that I know we didn't have a lot of people show up, but maybe with doing things like this, maybe we get some more people.
Yeah, we'd
excited.
love to. I mean, I think we did. We do a lot of things at Tailgaters. We do. We did a women's night where we did a women's coaches night where we tried to explain to women the game of football a little bit, and how we do things. And we've done things at Tailgaters a lot with our players, as far as we do accountability challenges, and we do a lift-a-thon and things like that, where we get our kids involved. And yeah, I'm always open to that. We're always, out in the public with community services and things like that in the off season. So we're always open to things like that, and we'll definitely do more of that. We did have some things planned to do last summer, and then the COVID got us, and we weren't able to. But absolutely, we're definitely gonna get out there and do some things and try to get the community involved.
Well, great. Well, St. Martin this week at home, Friday night, 7:00. So. Any final thoughts going into the game, Coach?
Huge game. The players know it's a huge game. We need the fans to show up and show you support. I thought last week in the second half, the fans, I heard them, and they were loud, and they were very supportive, and we need that again, and we need that every night. Well,
good. Well, thank you. Appreciate your time, and thanks to everybody at Indian Nation that's watching this, and come out and support the team Friday night, 7:00. Go see Coach Gladney or Tahir Crawford at the athletic department tomorrow from 8 to 5, or Friday from 8 until noon. And that's it. Wayne Byers and Coach Katlan French signing out.